Are you the type of person that procrastinates? You always have an idea or vision to get something started, and you'll start it, but then somewhere along the lines you wind up stopping? Well, this week on Motivation and Confidence, I'm going to give you 3 tips to help you get through that procrastination. Stay tuned. All right, everybody worldwide, you're now tuned into Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. And I'm your host, Tom Danger. Back this week with a new episode. And before we get started, first off, thank you for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, share, or send your question to, or if you have an interviewee or guest request or an idea subject that you'd like for us to talk about, Tommy Danger, TOMMYDANGER @gmail.com. Or if you would like to get some free stuff, I still have the first book, The 7 Steps, as a freebie. If you go over to the website, tomdanger.com, TOMDANGER.com, and you subscribe to our email list, you will get a complimentary or free copy of The 7 Steps. And this week we're going to talk about procrastination. Why do you procrastinate? Are you the type of person that procrastinates? You always say that, oh, I'm going to do it. And, I had this idea, or I would do it, or I was going to do it. Oh man, I had the same idea. Are you that type of person where you have a bunch of ideas or you have goals that you set for yourself, but you just continually procrastinate? Well, this week, we're going to try and help you get through your procrastination. I did a little research on this, and in short, part of the reason that you procrastinate is you're looking for a reward. Okay? You're looking for a reward as soon as you do something to be rewarded. And truthfully, not everything that you do, you're going to be rewarded right away. An example, shameless plug. Motivation and Confidence, Volume 2, Building Up Confidence. Available at Amazon and Google and Barnes & Noble and all that stuff. Right? When it came to writing the book, I could have made many excuses. I could have said, oh, I never wrote a book before. Or, oh, if I don't sell 1,000 copies, I'm a failure. Or, oh, my book cover doesn't look like this. Or, oh, I have to be writing about this particular subject. I could have thought of all the reasons in the world not to write a book. But that wasn't the case. And I noticed that some of you, have this idea that everything needs to be perfect. And when you have that idea in your mind that something needs to be perfect, you're automatically making a block, right? And that mental block is the sense of it being exactly the way that you want it. Now, I talk about this in the 7 steps. There's nothing wrong with refining, okay? Once you start your idea, you get it out there, you sort of have like a rough draft, and you work through it. You constantly put it out there, you refine it, you do it. I always like to use the example of an app or software and upgrades. How many times do you have an app, or even on your cell phone, and you always get software update coming, or software update version 2, or software update 6, where it basically takes out the bugs and all the things that have been wrong that people have talked about it. It's the same thing with your ideas, right? And procrastination is basically a part of self-control and motivation, okay? Now, your self-control is sort of like the driver, right? This is what's saying that this is what I want to do, okay? Your motivation is sort of like the gas in the car, which is going to push you to do the particular things. But then something happens in between, right? And there's a list of things that can basically prevent the car from moving along. And the car itself is you. One of those things is abstract goals, okay? When we talk about abstract goals, it's like, I was just explaining to my wife, the example of going to the gym. So a lot of people say that they want to be fit. And I think here's a perfect example. Are you the type of person that say, oh man, I'm going to start working out. And maybe you do hit the gym maybe twice. A lot of people do this at the start of the new year. Oh yeah, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to get right. And you spend your money on a gym membership. Of course, this is pre-COVID-19 because the gym is a whole nother case right now. But you can still get your workout on outside, in the park and whatever videos you have for indoor working out, right? So that's no excuse. But we always start with the idea way up here, like here's what we're going to do. And it's so abstract that we don't even say what we're working towards or how much time we're going to put into it or what are we going to dedicate towards it. So an abstract goal would just be, I'm going to do it. But a concrete goal is basically saying, you know what? 3 days out of the week, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to spend at least 30 minutes working on the treadmill or lifting weights. You see the difference between the two? Because now you have something to measure yourself against. And it's sort of like jumping in a car and starting to drive, but you don't have a destination. If you don't have the destination, after a while, you just riding on the road. And you're like, well, where am I going? You're going to pull a car over to the side and you're going to get out. So don't have an abstract goal. Make sure you set a concrete goal, okay? Another thing that causes you to procrastinate is rewards that are in the far future. And this is something that social media messes us up on. Because anytime we get a like or a positive comment when we put something out there, it automatically triggers something in our mind like, wow, yeah, I must be doing it. I'm moving along. This is great. And then when you put out another piece of content and you don't get as many likes or comments, now in your mind you start double backing and thinking to yourself, am I really doing the right thing? Do people like what I'm putting out? Is this the right format? So now you start to slow down the progress of what you're working on. Okay, so never let social media, likes, and comments be the driver for what you're doing. Work from within here. You know what I'm saying? Another very common thing is that people feel anxiety. You just feel anxious. And part of that anxiousness is the unknown, right? But if you really want to handle the unknown, you have to have a plan. And the importance of having a plan is so that you can sort of have the anticipation of what's going to happen. Because more than anything, the anxiety is coming from not knowing what's going to happen. So when you put the plan in place, it may not happen exactly how you want it to happen, but at least you have a framework for the way that you're going. And another huge one is a fear of failure. Again, when we talk about writing a book or we talk about posting something online, like what does failure really mean? I think failure to me is basically not taking action. As long as you're getting up every day and you're putting in the effort on your product, on your dream baby, and you're out there networking and you're talking to people and you're sharing ideas and you're giving input, or like people like to overuse the word right now, and you're giving value to other people of how your product or service could help somebody, that's all you need. Don't get tied to what someone else deems as success. The success is the movement and what you're doing. Okay. A lot of people also lack motivation. And, I talk a lot about motivation and confidence, but what I've come to realize is that motivation is easier for others than it would be for some people. Okay, because there has to be a driver. And we like to call that driver your why. If you don't have a why as to your reason to do it, you may not have necessarily the passion to continue doing it, because you need the fire to do these things. And if you don't have the fire, eventually along the lines, it's going to lead right back into the procrastination, right? And also with the lack of motivation, sometimes there's a lack of energy. A lot of people devote their attention to things that may not necessarily need the energy or attention that it deserves. And again, social media is one of those things where you can just give your attention to a bunch of crap that absolutely serves no purpose in helping you to achieve your goals. So it's something to be very, very mindful of. So in short, if you want to not procrastinate. Here, 3 things that you can do. 1, set a plan. Make sure you set out a short plan of what you want to do. Okay? Number 2, reward yourself. Even if it is little rewards, not what anybody else says, but rewards to yourself. If you have put out something and when you make your first sale, celebrate that first sale, because your first sale is your hardest sell. So that's something to definitely celebrate. Celebrate your small wins. Very important. And number 3, more than anything, if I could say with procrastination, it is enjoy the journey. It's a long haul. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, okay? You got to make sure that what you're doing is something that you love. Hopefully you're doing something that is entertaining, inspiring, or helpful to other people. And you get up every day and you have a sense of joy for it. Not for the likes, not for the comments, not for the money. That's part of the reason why I do Motivation and Confidence every week. So, with that being said, this has been Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best.